Hi, everyone. Ed Bixby here with my co-host Gretchen Spletzer for another edition of the Global Green Burial Alliance Spotlight Now.
Hi, everyone. It's Gretchen. I am going to introduce Patricia Kimie, and she has been helping families pre-plan their final wishes since 2015 in Santa Cruz County and has now expanded to include the Bay Area. In 2018, she began researching green burial. This business research has evolved into a passionate journey as she educates family and communities about their environmentally friendly options to better our planet and offer tours to local green burial cemeteries. Hi, Patricia.
Hi there, Gretchen.
Welcome.
So I already have a bunch of questions to ask you since we were just chatting before we started to do this interview. I was taking a look at your website, which is preplanningwithpatricia.com, right?
Preplanwithpatricia.com.
Preplanwithpatricia.com. Great website. I
am
very inspired by it, actually, because I'm starting to build my own. But yeah, so the pre-planning part that you do in your business, my question is, do you get a lot of like baby boomers pre-planning, or do you get their kids pre-planning with their for their baby boomer families? Like, how does that, what do you see coming through?
That's a good question. I have made arrangements for the youngest person was about 37 and the oldest 102. But the majority of people that I help make arrangements for are between the ages of, I would say, 55 to 78 is the average. Mainly, I would say the majority of people come in because they had just lost somebody and they went through the process and it was very painful, especially if they didn't make arrangements. And the kids come in occasionally. I find that the kids come in if the parent is over the age of 80 to 85, but the majority of people that come in for themselves, or they're making arrangements for someone in hospice care.
Do they usually find you from your website?
Well, a variety of ways. I have been doing this type of work for 8 years now, so I would say the majority of my business is through word of mouth, and I hold seminars every month of the year to educate the community about their options. And of course, I always emphasize the green, natural options because that's what I'm passionate about. But it's a learning experience, because if you've never really gone to a funeral or had to make arrangements for somebody, it's not really on the forefront of your mind. So
yeah, that's so true.
So answer me this, Patricia. What drew you to eco-friendly funeral options, and how was it received initially? I know you work for a wonderful funeral home down there in Santa Cruz, Benito and Azzaro. How did they receive it once you became interested?
That's a great question. So in 2018, so I was already 3 years in the business, I started receiving calls and inquiries about green burial, and I didn't even really know what that was all about. So I started doing a little research, and of course, your name popped up. And I reached out to you and met up with you at Christmas Cemetery. That was my first time visiting you. And I'll never forget that day because you were wearing white overalls and you had black oil all over you because you've been battling the poison oak yourself. And, in all honesty, I really went there for business purposes. I wanted to find out what it was all about so I could educate my clients. But after I had gone a few times to some tours, I fell in love with the process, and now that's what I'm doing. I'm offering these tours regularly to my clients, and I promote this heavily. Regarding the funeral home, I have to say that most directors that I've come across, especially if they've been in the business for a while, are still kind of conservative, and they're very busy with their traditional funerals and cremations. It wasn't received very well. They were open-minded, but I had to prove that this was a viable option. And it took me 2 years for the directors to see that yeah, wow, I'm making pre-arrangements for people who want this option. I'm talking about it. They finally attended my seminar and learned a few things.
Mhm.
And it took them 2 years to add it to their general price list.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I would have thought that the Bay Area would have been really glomming onto this idea, but you know, it's really about educating the public. So the
Mhm.
more they're educated, the more they really see that this is a number one. It's a great environmental option, environmentally friendly option, and it's good to be able to educate clients that come in, and instead of being order takers, educating them that they do have options. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, no, absolutely. No, you know, the key is what you said, education, as we all know. That's what makes this movement grow. So thanks, Patricia.
I have just a little follow-up question on that since I was actually born and raised in Santa Cruz myself. Um, and I remember all the cemeteries in town. Do any of those cemeteries offer green burial at all?
They do. So there are two cemeteries that what they're called, what we call combination cemeteries. So they do allow a natural burial without purchasing a vault. The body can go directly into the ground in as little as a shroud. But right next to you can be someone that's embalmed in a metal casket. So that's not what I call true green burial cemetery like Purisima and Half Moon Bay.
Yeah.
And the other conventional cemeteries are they're offering their version of green burial. They still require a purchase of a vault, but what they do is they leave the bottom open so
Mhm.
that your body is touching the ground, but you're still required to purchase that vault.
Oh.
There's
Right.
nothing, yeah, there's nothing comparable to the Green Burial Cemetery in Half Moon Bay as far as in relation to Santa Cruz County and the Bay
Yeah.
Area.
Yeah, I've actually been to Purisima. It's a gorgeous cemetery. That Spanish moss that's hanging from those oaks must be 200 years old or something. It's
Right, it is
long and
beautiful.
beautiful.
I
Yeah.
always tell everybody that I have my first ocean view property and I got it for under $1 million.
Well, that is true. Well, that would bring us, things you mentioned, the ocean. I know you offer other eco-friendly funeral options. Tell us a little bit about the sea options that you provide, you know, to your customers. The information.
Yeah, so and this is the most recent green option that I've been talking to my clients about, and that's full body burial at sea. The first question or the first response that people usually give me is that legal? You can do that in our sanctuary? Yeah, in the Santa Cruz and Monterey Bay Sanctuary, it's very highly protected. The rule from the EPA is you need to be at least 3 miles out and 600 feet deep. But in our sanctuary, 3 miles out is not 600 feet. So the owners of the Sea Spirit Memorial, the husband is a fisherman, so he knows where the fishermen go, and his choice is he goes out about 10 miles out. The body can be shrouded in a biodegradable shroud, or what some people prefer is a more of a what we call a basket casket made out of bamboo or willow. It's a beautiful option for those people who say to me that they want to give back to the earth, give back to the fish, give back to the water, and very highly popular for those people that love the ocean, that sail, and that really spend time at the beach.
That's
That's
nice.
wonderful.
We just did an interview with the at sea burial guy, James Manos, and he had a video on his website that kind
Okay.
of showed you what it's like. It looks beautiful.
Absolutely.
Well, so one of the things we always come up in any of these forums we do is that education piece. And so in Santa Cruz, do you reach out to like local community groups that you find that and just offer to do a presentation, or do you plan them on your own, like at the library? How do you get those going?
A little bit of all that you just mentioned. A lot of my clients come to me and say, hey, I know a group of people, or I have a group of friends. Can you please come to my home or our community clubhouse to speak to that group? And I have done that. I've gone to senior clubs. I have also pretty much promote these seminars right at the funeral home. We have a beautiful chapel that is comfortably seating, many people. And sometimes I serve like a lunch or a small meal with it as well.
Oh, that's nice. So some of
Yeah,
them are the presentations, and then some of them are actually the pre-planning get together where you sit down with the papers and can make some decisions and declare what you want.
exactly. Exactly. I look at my job as a career and not as like a salesperson just taking an order.
Yeah.
And it's really about a discussion to really find out what that person's values are
Yeah.
and where their passion lies. And
Yeah.
it's
What they have in mind.
exactly, exactly. And what they do for their hobbies. And a lot of people hike around here. I mean, Santa Cruz County has a lot of outdoor activities. So green burial is, I would say, it's a very viable option for this county.
Yeah.
Well,
I would
I-
think everyone in the county would love it. I mean, knowing Santa Cruz,
with
when
that
I
being
had
said,
when I
oh,
moved up here, I had to commute for my freshly baked bread from the bakery down there.
with that being said, Patricia, could you share with the viewers a little bit about, just briefly, what the experience is like when you actually do like one of your tours and you visit a location, so that they can understand maybe the mindset of the customer when they arrive and when they leave. I think it's
Right.
important to know because that really is what sells the concept to most people.
Exactly. What's interesting about it, and I actually bring this up on my tours and my seminars, is that I would say the majority of people who are, say, Catholic, they choose their gravesite with the intent of their family visiting on a regular basis. And I would say that 99%, and I can confidently say that, of the people who have chosen green burial have chosen it for themselves. And that's what I love about it. I have accompanied families to traditional cemeteries, and it's not a very fun event. They go there, everybody's pretty somber, sad, their heads down, then they want to leave. And what's different about coming to the Green Burial Cemetery, Parisma, is people have smiles on their face. They feel like they're outdoors in the nature. They're taking selfies. You don't see people taking selfies at, the other cemeteries. I recently had a family, and the mother was in her 90s, and she was looking around. And she looks at her kids and she says, "I want all of us to be together." It was so beautiful. When people come to the gate, they're looking around, they're asking lots of questions. They're impressed by just how it's not groomed and manicured. I always laugh when the cemeterians say to people, "Oh yeah, you need to purchase the vault because it protects your casket." What it does is it protects their ground, so it's perfectly pristine.
Mhm.
And so people, when they leave Parisma, especially after my tours, a lot of them stay. They stay afterwards, and I give them that privacy and that freedom to wander about on their own, to feel the property. And when I walk through the property, it's like walking. It's like seeing 5 different areas of terrain. There's some areas that are sunny and open, and some people love that. And some people love being under the trees. And most recently, people have come to be attracted to the eucalyptus trees on one side of the property. So there's something for everybody there when they're looking for their spot.
Mhm.
That's
Yes, I
wonderful.
find it enchanting.
Mhm.
just to walk, you're walking through this forest and then you come across a mound. And since this
Right.
is by the ocean, usually the family puts some driftwood or, a little shell or maybe even a little piece of sea glass, and just coming upon the mound and then seeing the tributes. That's why I say enchanting, because it's just a magical place. I mean, green burial cemeteries that are like that you can wander through
Mhm.
unmanicured, but
Mhm.
except for the trail, they're just perfect. Yeah.
I
Well,
was there on Sunday and there was a couple there and they had their water and she had a bag full of flowers and she was there to tend to her mother's plot. And she said to me, my mother always loved flowers. And so they were bringing flowers from their mother's garden. And she was a little upset because the deer or some critter enjoyed one of the bouquets,
Mhm.
but it was so lovely to see. They were just
Yeah.
very, very just honoring their mother. And
Yeah.
that's
well,
what I want. I said to her, I said, I hope my kids do the same for me.
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, Patricia, you're truly inspirational to all of us and to the people who are watching this. I hope everyone can take something from this. Anyone who is interested in pursuing, even a career like Patricia has in this movement, it's really a special thing to be involved with. So we do, appreciate and thank you for being here with us with the Global Green Burial Alliance. And if there's any parting words, feel free. And all of our viewers will have access to Patricia's information. So reach out to her if you have any questions.
Yeah. And I hope to meet you in person soon. I get down there for sure.
Likewise.
Yeah,
You
and
have a
anybody listening to this, please go to our Global Green Burial Alliance.net website and sign the pledge. Sign the pledge and be a provider and get our logo. Let us interview you and find out more about you. Yeah,
Sounds
and
great.
that's it from us. Thanks, Patricia.
Yes, thank
thank
you, Patricia.
you.